Hi everyone, and welcome to our first overview video for marketing management. My name is Dr. Alana Thompson and I'm the course coordinator for this subject at Federation Business School. I'm based here at Brisbane, so big hello to our lecturer and students in Brisbane, but also to our partner providers who are joining this program online from Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide. Welcome to you all. I hope you're all doing your best social distancing at the moment and using your time in between study productively, creatively, and mindfully. The purpose of the overview video is pretty self-explanatory. It's to give you an overview of the topic for week 2, which is the marketing environment. And we've drawn on chapter 3 in our Armstrong et al. Textbook, Principles of Marketing. I will outline here that these overview videos are not exhaustive. So you are not going to see me every week giving you a 2-hour lecture. That's not the style of learning that we're applying here. So the style of learning in marketing management that you'll see is more what we call a flipped learning and student-led approach. So I will give you an overview, give you the key ideas to frame your learning as you go forward, things that you need to be looking for in the content that's been provided for you. Okay, so you'll see me pop up every week, pre-recorded video of no more than around 10 or 12 minutes in length, just really some key highlights for you and to help you on your way. Then you will access the Moodle shell. You have lecture slides there, you have a range of activities, readings, all that kind of stuff available to you. You'll work through that by managing your own learning. And then to complement that, we're really fortunate that we have some great technology and your home lecturers are going to be organising virtual sessions for you to jump online. Hopefully that the technology is going to work and support us through this. And if not, your lecturers have been wonderful enough to provide some consultation time. So you can either send your email or call up by the old-fashioned phone if that works better for you. But really important for you guys to keep touching base with your home lecturers because they're the ones that are going to provide you that one-on-one support to really clarify the learning that we've provided in this framework. I am really keen to hear your feedback, things about the approach that we've taken here, if you can feed that back through to your lecturers, and we can talk about that as a teaching team and see what we can tweak and improve and maximise throughout the semester to really make this really worthwhile and positive experience for you guys now that we're in the online space. So let's get started. I'd like to start with an acknowledgement of country. Federation University Australia acknowledges the custodians of the lands and waters where our campuses are located. And of course, now we're in this online space, I want to acknowledge the custodians of the places from where you're joining our online learning today. We recognise the continuing responsibilities of our custodians to care for country at these sites of teaching and learning, and of course, wherever we find ourselves today. We pay our respects to Elders past and present and extend our respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander First Nations peoples. So week 2, topic 2 is all about the marketing environment. Now, at the end of this week's content, what we hope you'll be able to do is describe the environmental forces that affect a company's ability to serve its customers, to explain how changes in the demographic and economic environments affect marketing decisions, identify the main trends in the firm's natural and technological environments, and explain the key changes in the political and cultural environments. And finally, we want to be able to discuss how companies can react to that marketing environment. And so what I will say here is that week 2 is a pretty important topic for us to make sure that we get our heads around because for both your assessments 1 and 2, you are expected to have a good understanding of those environmental factors and how we can respond to and proactively engage with those marketing environments as part of our marketing strategy. Okay, the purpose of this slide is to give you guys a little bit of a helicopter view, an overview of where week 2 sits in relation to the rest of our content. Can you remember all the way back to week 1, where we looked at the very fundamental principles of marketing management in terms of creating and capturing customer value and strategic planning and marketing processes? We talked about these really basic principles of marketing and the ways that we build profitable relationships with targeted consumers. Hopefully you remember some of those key points because it does feel like a long time ago now. So much has happened in the last 2 weeks. So if you're finding it difficult to recall what we talked about, that's okay. What I'd suggest is before you watch the rest of this video, go back and have a look through your week 1 lecture slides in the Moodle and make sure that you've completed your multiple choice quiz as well, because that will make sure that you've kind of remembered and you've kept a hold of the most important introductory stuff, and then we can better build on that this week. So if you have any questions as well, if you go back and you go through and you have some questions, you might want to just jot those down so that you can remember to ask your lecturer in your virtual classroom, or send an email, or you might have a phone call if that's easiest for you. So when you're ready, come back, pick this up again, and then we can work through topic 2. If you feel comfortable with the week 1 content, then keep watching, carry on, and we're now going to have a little bit more of a look at week 2. All right, our week 2 overview. Now, like I said, these are not these are new slides here, and really what I've tried to do is provide a really high-level summary of what it is that if there's just a few things you took away from today, these are the things that you need to grab hold of. All right. In week 2, we build on our introductory knowledge, and we are going to explore in greater depth the first stage in the marketing process. That is how we understand the marketplace that we operate in, those environments, and being able to understand and respond to our customer needs and wants. So this first point I'm going to say that's really important for you guys to take away from this week: what is the environment that we're working in, and what do our customers want or need? All right. Now, marketing operates in a really complex and challenging environment, and that's what we're going to explore this week. We're going to look at these environments, the different environments, and their effects on our businesses and on our marketing activities. Now, typically we break these down into 2 levels. The first one I'll talk about here is the micro environment, and here we're talking about specific actors in the marketing environment. Now, these include suppliers, intermediaries, customers, competitors, the general public, and stakeholders. Now, these actors can work with our companies or they can work against our companies. All right. But we do have, I guess, a little bit greater degree of control over these actors at the micro level. Now, the next level I'm going to talk about is the macro level. All right. Now, macro environmental forces. These include demographics, economic factors, natural environments, technological uh, evolutions, and political and cultural environments as well. Um, these forces shape marketing opportunities, they pose threats, and they ultimately affect the potential of our business to build customer relationships. Now, all of these factors come together to create really complex environments, and these are the environments that all businesses are operating within. What we want to get from you guys, the successful marketers of the future, is that you have a comprehensive understanding of the importance and the potential influences of these environments. And when we talk about that, it's both the positive and the negative influences that these actors and forces can have on our business and marketing decisions. And so that's where I'll finish with this last point around what you need to take away from this week. You guys need to be confident in being able to respond to this question: what are the complexities, opportunities, and challenges that these actors and forces present our business, and how do we as marketers respond to them? So moving forward, these are the key points I'd like you to take with you to frame your reading, your understanding of the content, and also to focus your efforts. So if you know that these are the kind of things that you need to seek in your content, then your student-led flipped learning will be more effective. You know exactly what you need to go out and look for, and the kind of justifications and the evidence you need to pull together to be able to confidently discuss these points. Now, as promised, I want to provide a couple of points at the end here to help you manage your learning online during this time that we have found ourselves in. Now, each week, this is just some generic guidelines here. Each week, your Moodle site is going to include an overview video just like this. It's going to have some Explore weekly readings. They include your textbook and an additional reading or two that are already in your shell. You're going to have your lecture slash seminar slides to download and work through. And you're also going to have activities. So that will vary from week to week depending on the topic. They might be YouTube clips to watch and, maybe write a bit of a reflection about, podcasts to listen to, media articles to read. And also each week there are already loaded into Moodle, there's multiple choice quizzes. So they're really helpful just to check your knowledge each week and make sure that you understand and you're making good progress. And you can also identify from that if there's things that you haven't quite understood, then you should write them down on your relevant notebook and to chat to your lecturer about them when you touch base. The other thing I want to remind you guys about is each week you need to continue to make progress on your assessments. And importantly, like I just mentioned, check in with your lecturer. So whether that's about you joining a virtual session that is scheduled for discussion, or whether you want to have a one-on-one phone call or an email, that's up to you. You really need to manage that and make sure that you're checking in weekly or even more regularly if there's things that you're not quite getting and you need to chat through with your lecturer. So I just want to talk about those points specifically for this week, week 2, to manage your learning online. Overview video, we're a couple of seconds away from you guys being able to tick this one off as being done. Well done. Make sure that you go and look at your Explore weekly readings. Now, I have provided a little bit of commentary and guidelines around approaching your reading in the book chapter, chapter 3 this week, and also the additional reading. There's a couple of questions there to help you focus your reading on important things to take away from that reading. You've got your lecture and seminar slides to download and work through. There's lots of content there. It aligns with the book chapter, so you can flick back to the book chapter if you want to find out a little bit more about something. And there's lots of exercises as you go through. Now, your lecturer is likely going to touch on some of those exercises in your virtual discussion, so make sure that you've had a look and had a go at them before you log in to your virtual session. Activities this week, we've got to get to know you. It's really important that we continue to build our network, build our community online now that we're working in our online and remote space. So please complete that activity. That's just a little bit of you putting up something about yourself and popping a photo up. We've got some group work later in this semester, so the more we can get to know each other each week, it makes forming into groups a little bit easier. There's also our weekly multiple choice quizzes. Please have a go at that and just make sure that you're keeping track of your knowledge. Continue to make progress on your assessments. There's a couple of guidelines online about where you should be at this week for assessment 1. And importantly, make sure you've got your virtual session time noted down somewhere, that you've got the software ready to go, you know what you need to do. And if you can't make that, definitely call through to your lecturer or send them an email. That's all from me today, guys. I will see you in our week 3 overview video. And like I said at the beginning, if you have feedback on how we are structuring this and other things that you might need to support your learning, please feed that back to your lecturer, and we can certainly talk amongst us and work out the best way to support your online learning. Thank you, and see you again soon.